Hey everybody and welcome back to another one of Mudflap's movie reviews. My name is Mudflap and today I'm going to be reviewing one of my favorite James McAvoy movies, Split. Let's get started. So I remember when I first saw this movie in the movie theater, right off the bat I was just really captured by this movie's pace, the thriller vibes behind it, just not really knowing what to expect from James McAvoy when it came to his multiple personalities that he has and which one we were going to see first and which ones we were going to see throughout the movie. And he was just a very unpredictable character, and that's kind of one of the main reasons why I love the movie so much. Is I was always thinking of like, what is he going to do next? Is he going to snap? Is he going to, kill one of the girls that he's kidnapped? Like, I just didn't know what to expect. And I was putting myself in the shoes of the three girls who were kidnapped because, that's what you do when you watch a psychological thriller movie like this. Is to get the most out of this movie experience, at least for me, is I want to put myself in the shoes of the people who are being kidnapped and try to feel what they're feeling, and trying to relate to a guy who has 24 different personalities and you never know which one you're dealing with. Is a very scary thing. I just really liked one of the characters in the movie, Casey, who was played by Anya Taylor-Joy. Very young. It took me a while to remember that she was actually in this movie, because I've seen her in a bunch of stuff since then. Her career's definitely taken off since this movie, but her character, Casey, was very interesting, and one of the things I liked a lot about it was she and James McAvoy's character were always very similar in a one way. Is they're both very broken individuals trying to find their identity, and that was a pretty big theme that I've noticed in this movie, was brokenness. Casey's character just had really bad family history, a lot of inappropriateness going on between her and her uncle, and they did some flashbacks in the movie. But then you have Kevin, one of James McAvoy's many personalities, and they would switch back and forth, and you could see who the leaders were. Patricia was one of them, kind of the matriarchy. I always thought that was interesting, like when you think about someone who has multiple personality disorder. So he's a guy, so I guess I never thought that one of his personalities could be a woman, and so that was always kind of a little jarring for me to see that one of his personalities was like a really stoic matriarch type figure named Patricia, who was very thorough and very OCD-like, but another very interesting personality. Dennis was another big one, the guy who was always obsessed with cleaning. We got to see Dennis and Patricia, I'd say, the most out of all of his personalities. But yeah, this movie is just really phenomenal. It's one of my favorite James McAvoy movies, mainly based on his performance. I've seen James McAvoy in a bunch of stuff, but for me, this movie should have won him at least an Academy Award, or at least nominated for one. But I researched it, and he was nominated for other awards, like smaller awards, but he was not nominated for an Academy Award for this movie, and I was always disappointed by that. But I guess some people felt that he had done better movies before this movie that would have earned an Oscar over this movie, and other people thought that there were 5 or 6 other movies out there at the time that were better than the movie Split. That's everyone's opinion. My opinion, obviously, is this movie should have won at least one Academy Award, easily an Academy Award winner for James McAvoy. So in my heart, he definitely won an Oscar for his performance. Favorite moments throughout this movie? I actually really liked when we just first kick off the movie, how it just gets right into it. Right off the bat, this movie has a really good pace. If you're not into M. Night Shyamalan's type of directing style, you may find this movie kind of boring because it has a good pace, but some may categorize it as a slow-moving movie. But it's all the excitement and all the wondering what's next, the anticipation, the nervousness. Like, you want the girls to escape from this guy, so you're always cheering for him throughout the movie. But as we go through the movie, we see more and more of James McAvoy's character, his personalities, and of course the one they were always hinted at was the 24th personality multiple times, the Beast, who the therapist that James McAvoy's character was going to often thought that it was a myth, wasn't really a thing. But that's where it comes to my favorite moment of all time, is when we finally get to see the Beast finally show up in all of his glory, and he's everything that all the other personalities said he was going to be. And I'm sure James McAvoy had to work incredibly hard to get as ripped as he did for this role. He definitely was in incredible shape for this movie. It's just a work of beauty. It's just a very beautiful, powerful, cinematic moment in the movie that definitely M. Night Shyamalan really put the charm on, really turned the charm on when it came to that. That's always one of my favorite moments, and of course when he relates to Casey, he points out that she is the purest of heart out of all three of the girls because she's the most broken. Once again, she has that connection to him. Compared to the other girls that he kidnapped, Casey and him definitely got along the best because one, she didn't really try to put up a fight, and two, she kind of wanted to relate to him and wanted to understand him more. The other two girls were just concerned about trying to get out and they didn't care about him, but I think that goes to show a little something that if you at least try to show that you care for somebody, no matter if you understand who they are or not, you might be surprised by the outcomes. When it comes to M. Night Shyamalan, I know the last movie, Old, it had some pretty bad reception. Not many people liked it. I never saw it just because based on the reviews I saw, the negativity around it, I just had a feeling it wasn't very good. But all of M. Night Shyamalan's movies that I have seen are always phenomenal. Sixth Sense is what really got me into M. Night Shyamalan, but then you got Unbreakable with Bruce Willis, which this is part of that trilogy, Unbreakable, Split, and Glass, which is this amazing trilogy by M. Night Shyamalan. The thing that makes M. Night Shyamalan really different from the directors out there is he always has an unexpected plot twist. That's what makes his movies so awesome, so different. They're also called twist endings as well, where a character or multiple characters, something crazy happens. And whether you could predict it or you couldn't predict it, something crazy happens at the end of the movie, throws you for a loop, and you just get your mind blown, just like at the end of Split. We finally got to see the Beast and how, the Beast actually exists. The twist ending, there are a few twists to when the Beast came out, how he came out, how he interacted with different characters, but it was definitely a moment worth waiting for because they were building that hype up the entire movie, and then we finally got to see it, and it did not let me down. It was a really, really awesome scene. And I'm just excited to see more of M. Night Shyamalan's work in the future. I know he's got a movie coming out next year that I might check out, so I'm excited to see more of his work in the future. So for Split, I'm going to give it a 7.5 out of 10 Mudflaps. And before you go, drop in the comments below, who is your favorite personality from Split? And as always, if you like this video, give me a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, ring that bell, and I'll see you next time.